Hey guys, welcome to Makeup History of the 1970s. The 70s were a decade where a lot was happening, especially when it comes to human rights and women's rights. Women were starting to really fight for their freedom, fight for equality, and the role of women was kind of shifting from the perfect homemaker to a strong, independent young woman. So the aspirations of young women changed from being the traditional woman to having more freedom and being able to do whatever they wanted to do and being treated equally as men. So with this shift in what women were supposed to strive for, also came a shift in the marketing of beauty products. So it was partially because of this and partially as a reaction to the heavy makeup of the 60s that 70s makeup is pretty toned down and natural again. The heavy cake foundation was gone. Women would wear natural light liquid foundations in their own skin color. Foundation wasn't powdered off at all. Eyebrows were left pretty natural. Some women would still pluck them very thin in the kind of 1930s fashion, because that was just their own kind of in back then. Yeah, natural lipstick colors were still used, so like pinks and nudes. So all of the kind of free-fighting subcultures of the 70s were the foundation of modern day individualism. Every person gets to choose who they want to be, how they want to identify, what they want to do with their lives. And this is something that wasn't really around before that. You were supposed to conform to the norms of society, and that was just what you did. And now in the 70s, there's more and more freedom to express who you actually are. And this means that also in makeup, there's just a lot more diversity. People were doing their own thing. I would say there were a few kind of major streams in the 70s. One was the kind of natural look that was worn by women that didn't really want to be seen as wearing a lot of makeup, conforming to the kind of traditional female beauty standard. Then there was the overly glamorous disco look, glitters, colors, everything, just as much as possible. And of course you had the beginnings of your punk movement, which was pretty interesting as well. They would wear a lot of black angular shapes, geometric shapes on their face, pretty much black and white makeup. I'm not gonna go into that today, I'm keeping it mainstream. So yeah, as for the skin, which a trend that kind of started back in the 30s was to have tan skin. White pale skin was the beauty ideal all throughout history, because being pale meant that you were rich enough to not have to work outside on the field. Being pale was kind of a status symbol. That started to change when the Industrial Revolution came about, and the poorest people were actually the ones working inside in factories, and rich people were the ones rich enough to go outside and enjoy the sun. That's when the shift slowly started from rich people being pale to rich people being tan. That kind of really took flight in the 30s, and in the 70s it is back in full force. People would practically bake their skin to crispiness. The tanner the better. People would use tanning oils, those reflective sheets, to tan from all sides. Horrible things. And around this time is also when the first SPFs are developed. Tan skin was definitely the way to go, and if you couldn't achieve a natural tan, then there were plenty of bronzers on the market to help you along. So the look that I went for today is kind of a casual, pretty mainstream look. I went for a purple eyeshadow with a white highlight underneath my eye. Purple, green and blue were definitely the most popular colors back then. They were just marketed. All the brands had purple, green and blue. So I went for purple because it goes nice with my eyes and my t-shirt. And yeah, the white highlight that's been around since the 60s kind of carries on to the 70s. And then I have a lot of bronzer on. So I think it's time for the 70s makeup tutorial. So I'm going to start with my regular liquid foundation that I always wear. And I'm going to spread a thin layer of this over my face. You don't need full coverage. Remember, we're going for a natural look here. I am, however, going to take a little bit extra underneath my eyes and on my nose just to cover up that darkness and redness that I have. And now, while I'm waiting for my foundation to dry, I'm going to move on to my eyes. So I'm going to start by taking this vibrant purple color, and I'm going to apply that all over my eyelid and into my crease. The heavy crease look from the 60s was gone. Women would pretty much just wear the same color all over their eyelids. So that's what I'm going to do as well, but I'm leaving a little space underneath my eyebrow for the white to go later. So when that's done, I'm going to take this shimmery white color, and shimmers will all the rage, so go all out on the shimmer. And I'm going to apply that underneath my brow bone, or sorry, on my brow bone underneath my eyebrow. Then I'm going to take a pencil eyeliner and line my top lash line. Mascara was kind of not really that popular back then, so I'm only going to take a little bit, apply it with a very light hand, and just to lengthen my lashes. I'm not really thicken them. Okay, back to the face. So my foundation has dried and now I'm going to apply my bronzer. So I'm going to take this huge bronzer disc, really dip my brush in there, and just start bronzing around the contours of my face. So I'm going right underneath my cheekbone and onto my temples, and then underneath my jawbone to kind of just bronze up my face pretty much everywhere. Then I'm going to take this pretty natural looking pink blush and I'm going to apply a little bit of that on my cheeks, just to give a little pop of color. And then lastly, I'm going to apply this nude colored lip gloss on my lips. And that's your 70s look done. Like I said, this is just one of many options from this era, just because everybody was kind of doing what they wanted. I really hope you enjoyed this. Next week is the 80s. I am terrified. I have to do something with my hair that's gonna be 80s. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's gonna be okay. I will see you next week, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!